Good morning, I'm Lenny the woodworker, and in this video I'm going to do, this is what I'm calling part 2 of fiberglassing your strip canoe. I did the first video, I thought I explained it, but not enough. When I decided to do these videos, I didn't want to just show me doing it at a time lapse. I wanted to explain everything. I want you to know what to expect and try to go over everything as opposed to just watching me do it at hyper speed. So in the last video, I had you can barely see this, I had you brush out the cloth over your canoe, get it smooth and make sure it fit. The next step is to actually start putting your epoxy resin on. What I recommend is getting the pumps for the epoxy. It has to be a perfect mixture or it won't dry. So I always use, and I recommend getting the pumps. 1 pump of resin, 1 pump of hardener. It's a perfect mixture. You know, why I'm doing the strip canoe, I'll do 3 of the resin, 3 of the hardener, because you're going to need a little bit, more obviously. And it's a slower cure. Not, you want to work at a decent pace. You don't have to go nuts with it though. So that's why you could do like 3 pumps of each. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So first, you mix your epoxy. I'm just going to do 1 pump of each for this little clearance. Then you want to mix it really good. Now when you set up for epoxy, make sure you set up with plenty of cups, plenty of stir sticks. Have everything you need. You could wear gloves. Don't wear good clothes; it'll get all over you. And because that's all you're going to be doing till you're done. You're not going to be able to stop. So we mixed it up. Now I want you to know what to expect. When you're doing the boat, you're not going to pour the whole thing. You're going to pour a little bit at a time. I quickly want you to see that you got to wait. See, you can still see the glass. You give it a second as you're spreading it, and you'll see it slowly start to, see how it's absorbing in, and you're starting to see the wood underneath. That's what I want you. That's what I wanted you to expect. So, because you're going to start spreading it, and it's not going to look like you're spreading it. You're still see the glass. So you want to spread it, and then watch it slowly start to absorb. It's called you're wetting out the glass, getting the epoxy in there. It's tight wound, so it's got to work through to the wood, and then you spread it out. Now what I use, you use the brush when you're doing the stems because you're going to be cutting it around. I think I told you how you cut it to the one side, and then use the brush to brush it over, and then you lap the other side. But for the rest of it, with this first coat, the wet out coat, I like to use a squeegee. So you pour it on, and I'll pour a little more on there. No, I'm going to save that for the other video. Pour it on, and then you squeegee it. Not real tight because it'll take too much of the resin and everything out. Just nice and smooth. You don't want it too thick, and if it comes up real shiny on this first coat, then it's a little too thick. You want to slowly squeegee it out, and then I squeegee it in the direction I'm working. You don't want to waste the stuff, so just keep squeegeeing it out. As it wets out, squeegee a little more and work your way down the boat. All right. After you do that, you can do one of 2 things. You have to do what's called filler coats, because when it dries, it'll feel like a window screen. You have to build that up, fill it in. You could either wait after you do the first wet out coat. You could wait until it's like barely tacky, and start mixing epoxy, and you roll on your filler coats. That's the easiest way to do it, I think. Not necessarily squeegeeing it. I like to roll it on. You can let that dry, and then you do a third filler coat. You're going to need about 3 filler coats to get it nice and smooth. What I do is I wait for the first batch, the wet out coat. I wait for that to dry. I scuff it up with 80 grit, clean it with alcohol, tack rag, clean it, let the alcohol dry. Of course, you don't want to start pouring right away, but clean it thoroughly, and then you start your filler coats. And I use a roller. like I said, you're going to need 2 filler coats. Now this is how you get it to look like glass, look like furniture. On the second filler coat, and I'm going to try to do that for you here. Now I'm mixing a new one. On the second filler coat, again, you're rolling it out. People have used a squeegee. I like to roll it. But I want to show you because I don't want you to be intimidated. That's the whole reason. So on your final filler coat, you're going to torch it. You're going to get air bubbles. They're going to come through. It's outgassing. As it starts to cure, it starts to bubble, and you don't want that bubble. That you're not going to have. You want it to be smooth, like glass, like furniture. I think I could do it on here. Let me show you how it's done. I'll do it on this one. So you're going to pour out your epoxy. I'm going to use the brush, but you're going to roll it out nice and smooth. Oh, I might have used a bit too much there. There we go. Let me get it over here. This is the third filler coat. Then what you're going to do is you're going to torch it. You're going to, as you do that third filler coat, you're going to start seeing bubbles and stuff. You want to take those bubbles out. There we go. Let's get this going. Get yourself a nice propane torch. Come on, there we go. Now to show you, so you're not intimidated, you just take it and you work the torch across. Any bubbles that come up, you just work it out with a torch. As you see, it doesn't. Let me turn this off. It doesn't flare up or anything. It's not really flammable. But the heat, you'll see as you go along, it'll start popping the air bubbles and it'll come up like glass. And that's the key to get it looking like glass. And then after that, then you're ready, and it's going to be a later video. After that third filler coat, you're going to be ready to do your varnish and make it, just look like a piece of furniture. So hopefully I went through everything in this second video as far as wetting out the cloth. I like to let it dry, scuff it with 80 grit, clean it up, and then you do your 2 filler coats. In between filler coats, I scratch it up with the 80 grit too, clean it in between coats, and then on that final coat, when you pour your epoxy and roll it out, you're going to want to use that torch, and you'll see it'll take. Be careful, nothing beyond it to be flammable, but you'll torch out all those bubbles. And if you want to practice torching it or doing the several coats, get a couple pieces of plywood like I did, and just experiment with it so you're comfortable with it, and then you jump on the boat, and you should be fine. So hopefully I explained everything. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and time for me to do another filler coat on my boat. Thanks for watching.